Are you ready? Okay, it's 6:30. Call Sawyer County Public Works meeting to order. Ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Ron Kinsley.
Here.
Mark Helwig.
Here.
Randy Newman.
Here.
Chuck Van Etten.
Here.
Jim Evans.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item is pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Number 4, certification compliance open meeting laws.
This meeting was noticed to the media and the public as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Thank you. Number 5 is meeting agenda. The agenda is set. Number 6, public comments. Is there anybody online? Number 7, consider approval of the minutes of the previous meeting of March 12th.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Newman, second by Mr. Chuck Van Etten. To approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 8, maintenance department report. Mr. Hagberg provided us with a report. Anybody have any questions regarding the report? Anything you want to highlight, Mr. Abrano?
Just that we've already got to start on the, as you can see there, kind of the summer activity, spring, summer, the new roof going on to the Sheriff's Department. We went with, we had a little bit of engineering questions to answer, but they were resolved over the winter. So we're going with another adhered roof or adhered roof on the Sheriff's Department rather than a rubber with ballast. So the rocks are gone. Due to the additional weight with the air topper units, it was the decision to go with the adhered roof. And you can see there that the contract with Johnson Controls is already signed to complete the rooftop unit this year as well. A lot of the interior projects to the building that you've heard about as far as Justice Point's new offices, the DA's secure window, child support, those are all completed now. And staff was able to do a wall in the clerk's office to provide a little more privacy and quieter space for the clerk to work in. So that kind of took care of the list we had been backlogged on since this building was completed. So everything seems to be going pretty well.
Yes.
I was just curious, those workstations, are those hydraulic?
If they built them, they are not. These are ones that they build in-house. Sometimes they do put a stand-up desk on top of their workstations. So I don't know if they did that in this case, but if they're in this report for building them, they're just like a wood desk essentially.
We'll move forward. Number 9, Sawyer County Airport, Mr. Leslie.
Well, good evening. Any questions on my report burning right off the bat? I could tell you, last month, Andy and I have had a few different meetings. We did have a master plan meeting where we kind of sat down with the state and our consultants to discuss where we were at. I just came from conference. I was able to sit down with the state and kind of, we're not the only airport that's been having issues with the backlog of trying to push these programs forward. There's several other airports that are at the same place, exact same place that we are waiting for the forecast to get approved. And that has to be done in collaboration with the FAA. I wasn't aware, but there's actually 53 ongoing master plans happening at airports in the state of Wisconsin. So I guess I didn't know that. The state, it was their conference, they put it on. So they kind of gave a brief explanation as to where they're at on it. Basically the day before our conference, or I think it was on Friday, the consultant finally did meet with the BOA again, and the BOA's agreed to allow us to move forward with the C2 category of aircraft for our forecast design. I mean, we've blown past that 500 number threshold for design for the ALP. So they're going to kick it off to FAA. It's probably going to be a couple months. But, you know, once FAA approves the forecast, then the state will contract with Becker Hoppy to start beginning to put together the airport layout plan. I would be surprised if this year we were bringing that plan to the county for consideration. This board, this committee, the full board of supervisors will need to vote on accepting the airport layout plan. That is a requirement for us to continue to get federal funding. ALP is badly needing updated too. Ours is, the last one was done 18 years ago, and the airport doesn't even remotely look now what it did then. Lots of pen and ink sheets, pen and ink sheets. So if it is this year, it'll be towards the end of the year. I don't think our consultants will come back up again from Kaufman. I don't think we're gonna see them again. Becker Hoppy will be here to present the ALP, and the Bureau will actually send somebody up here in person for our meetings to present to the county as well. Because, I mean, the ALP needs to get approved. So, conference was great. I was at conference today. I came back mainly because John said he was coming back too, because he had his conference and he was gonna make committee. The state of aviation in Wisconsin is really strong still. It kind of seems like, Sawyer County is kind of the joke all the way around, because we're one of the few airports that's seen increases when everybody else is seeing decreases. And that's kind of been going on for 10 years. We're directly competing, our state directly competes with Minnesota pretty seriously, especially the 139 airports, the commercial airports are what really struggles, because, even people from Eau Claire don't get on an airplane in Eau Claire. A lot of times they just drive directly to Minneapolis. So it's a general aviation airports that are still doing well. We are probably one of the leaders in that group for seeing growth. We talked about a lot of safety things at the conference, general airport operations. I'm trying to think, basically what I consider my continuing education. We get to do a lot of networking, which is also important. The last thing that we have set a shutdown date for the runway project. We did that last week. We had our pre-construction meeting. Shutdown day is scheduled for May 5th. This is the day we're planning on shutting down the runway. Mr. Pino's rolling his eyes. We need road bands to come off for that to happen. I'm not sure. Maybe John can give us, I'm sure he'll give us an update. I know his phone's been ringing off the hook.
I understand that counties to the south of us are coming off next week.
Yes, Dunn County's coming off on Monday.
Yeah,
So it's triple, yeah.
so we're not starting till May 5th. It doesn't really make sense for us to start earlier, because that's when, we have to wait for a lot of our electrical components to get here. I spent a lot of time with the general contractor, or the lead supervisor for Neo Electric, who's doing our lighting upgrades at the airport. Those guys, everyone's super optimistic. If we get good weather, they could be out of Hayward by the first week of June, potentially. And it sounds like the pavement guys, they're not concerned really in the slightest. They're gonna come in, and it kind of seems like this is a relatively small project for Haas's scale for what they're gonna do. So they think in 3 days they'll have the runway gone. It's gonna take another 5 days to get everything to right grade, and if we have good weather, they're gonna be pulling asphalt out there fast. So all we can do now is just hope and pray that we don't have a wet spring like we did last year. I think if we are open by the second week of June, for me, it's kind of a dream come true, I think. But I think I've been telling everybody that we could push into the later parts of June before we're back open again. So
Where are they getting the asphalt from?
that is a good question. Morotech, of course he knows. I'm trying to think other things with the project. I know we had a meeting, we had some people from the public come. I know that I'm gonna try to connect with the guys from the town of Hayward too. I think I talked about with the engineers, maybe trying to do a one-on-one with the town road guys from the town of Hayward to discuss kind of our access routes, haul routes. We're gonna go out and look at the road and take some video.
It'd be wise to keep them posted.
Yeah, because I mean, we're gonna roll 1,000 dump trucks down that road in a month. Full of materials in both directions. So, it's in the contract, you know, I mean, this is a full-fledged state contract. They have funds built into the project for fixing roads if necessary. Otherwise, as far as things at the airport, I feel like things are going good. It's been slow. I get a jet later tonight that, I'm gonna have to leave here for soon. I know Jack Links has quite a bit of activity coming up. We've been seeing some of our regular folks kind of pop in and out, and my phone's been ringing off the hook with folks trying to figure out how they're gonna get their vehicles up to cable. Because a lot of our smaller traffic is gonna be going in and out of cable while we're shut down. So managing some of that. Trying to think FBO wise, there's not a lot, you know, there's not a lot of traffic, so there's not a lot going on. We've looked at the numbers for worst case scenario. I think it's about a 25 to 30% reduction in fuel sales if we're shut down all of June for the year. Optimistic that that's not going to be the case. But we don't get that business back. You know, they don't then come 2 times in July. I mean, that's not gonna. So, working on that. I think Andy and I have spent a lot of time working on a lot of our documents, contracts. I think we're in a pretty good place and everything. My exit binder, I'm working on getting him that. It's pretty extensive. For the interim person, they've got a lot to learn. We were fortunate. We were incredibly fortunate because Andy came into us knowing airports. And there's no guarantee that that's going to happen with the next person. So it's a steep learning curve.
Yeah, I forgot. Any word on meeting for the other plan? Can't think.
The master plan. Yeah, I'd be surprised if I'd really be surprised if we seen something during this fiscal year. If we did, it would be towards the end of the year.
I wanted to jump back. You mentioned that briefly about the C2 classification. So just want to emphasize that we've been waiting for the FAA to respond to the forecast data because the consultants need the FAA confirmation in order for them to proceed and finish out the plan. And so you said that the Bureau gave the consultant the go-ahead to submit to FAA, and now we're still waiting for FAA, right?
Correct. Yeah, the C2 category is really what bumps us up. That brings us up to our bigger safety areas, needing a longer runway. Once we hit that threshold, that's when we have to start considering future expansion.
So the part I want to emphasize is that we are not asking for the C2 classification.
We are being classified.
That's what the data says we are, and the FAA will have to confirm that forecast for the consultants to finish.
So if the FAA, if they say we're a C2, then we have to.
Well, that's what they're going to plan for then. That's what the master plan will be completed for.
Yep.
Right, well, if they say we are, do we have to expand them?
Maybe 10 years down the road,
Yeah.
possibly. This,
We have C3 and C4 planes.
the D planes even as well, but it's at 500 average is what the FAA works at. So our runway is going to be here. This runway we're paving, it's going to be there for 10 years. That's like the minimum requirement. I mean, it's getting paved in less than a month. The FAA is not going to throw the money away from that runway, but moving forward, that's where the master plan is a 20-year living document. After that, that's when,
So let's review.
Yep,
The master plan is a plan,
yes,
not a project.
right.
Right now, we're gonna resurface the blacktop, the runway. So they aren't gonna wanna be in too big a hurry to extend that out once they redo it.
Right, and it's not, the plan will be, if the forecast is confirmed, it'll be a plan. And you
Not a
don't,
project.
and I won't even use the word expansion, it's just, when you get down 10 years, and the traffic is what they anticipated is, you will be faced with some decisions
yeah,
to incorporate some of the safety upgrades or improvements to the airport to meet the traffic demand.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in Hayward that don't understand that word of plan. It's a 4-letter word.
Thank you.
The only other thing is I brought it with me, the planning commission meeting for the Cable Union Airport. It's happening, next Tuesday for their next meeting. They put their hangar development area in. It finished up last fall. They put in 12 hangar sites. And within 2 years, I believe all 12 hangar sites are gonna be built on. I'm up to 5 tenants and or regular customers that aren't gonna be flying in and out of Hayward now anymore, that we're losing to cable because they wanted to have hangars and they can't. So just for a point of reference.
Thank you. Highway Commissioners report. Number 10, thank you.
Good evening. So the crews have been out, a couple times this last month for some, small snow and ice events. Which do cost us quite a bit of money with these little storms. We've used over half of our, winter maintenance budget so far. That's not including the 620 tons of, salt inventory that we're currently gonna be getting yet this year. Brushing has still continued on State Highway 27 CC and patching a little bit on state and county roads. Right now, we're gonna start more of that next week. Along with crack sealing.
Thank you.
We'll begin next week. And then, we're also gonna be, we have our new mastic machine. We're also gonna be doing mastic on a lot of state roads, and we will be renting our machine to multiple different counties around the area, to recoup some of that cost. Our 6 to 20 culvert inspections have been completed on the county system. We had to reduce a small structure on County W down by Connors Lake to 1 lane. I had to have it load rated. That was on a Friday. It was when he was inspecting, but I did get I received his bill for the $5,800. I did submit that to the state, and we actually got that money reimbursement today back from the state. Yeah, it was actually really quick. Frost tubes, so road bands, as of today, our last tube currently is all clear. So now we just gotta wait for the roads to firm and dry up a little bit here. I can expect probably within the next week or two to probably be removing road bands. I look back historically, 47 days is what we've historically been on for road bands, so we're right there at that time. Maybe another week or so longer. The bids for asphalt, I'll skip. That's on our next agenda item. We did clean up all our salt sand that we mixed this year. We got all 3 sheds full, and Towns had come and picked up the last of it, so we got that all cleared up. The county ESTP rural project, so that's currently, I shouldn't say on hold. We're working with the DNR, so we have a lot of lake impact issues down there for Spring Lake. So the DNR is not willing to sign off on this project as of now, which means if they don't sign off, we could lose the funding for that road. I've gone back and forth with them. I've asked, if the DNR isn't willing to issue permits for building into the roadside lake. I've asked if I can pull that segment of that project out and do it on county funds, maybe apply for it for the LRIP this year. I can't do that because it was put in as one whole project, so that kind of got thrown to the side. Another thought too is that I could probably make it non-part, so the county would pay for that section, and they won't budge on that either. I've talked to a lot of surrounding commissioners on this, and we had another meeting Monday. So the problem is that section along Spring Lake is we're gonna have about 6 feet of lake impacts along the roadway there. And I really don't want to pull that part of the project out because we have buried guardrail that the county put in, and I don't know how many years ago, but it's eventually gonna fail. I mean, I can't tell if it's gonna fail in 20 years, 50 years or what, but eventually it's gonna fail. And we have to meet the FDM standards because it's federal dollars, on this project. So what I've done so far is to try to reduce lake impacts. We have filed for exemption of standards, which we removed the guardrail because of the ADT is a low ADT and the accident history down there is very low. So I removed the guardrail, reduced the shoulder width, put rumble strips in on the edge of the road, and that's still not good enough because we're still gonna have lake impacts. So when we met Monday, one of the options was they wanted to take the road and move it off of Williams Road behind the houses and connect it, which that's all on county dollars. Yeah, that's not an option. We've discussed the riprap of putting nice riprap in along the lake, and they don't want to do that because of the turtles and the fish spawning and still the lake impact. So we went to a fiber mesh and replant vegetation, and they don't like that because, again, the turtles and fish spawning, all that. So right now, we have a list of alternatives that we have sent to the DNR, and I don't have the list with me. I'm waiting for SEH to put it together, and then we'll review it, and then send it to the DNR and see what comes with that. So another part of this project too is because it's construction in 27, let in spring of 27 and construction in 27. But the problem is we don't even have all the plat to know what our right-of-way acquisition is gonna be down there yet. And we're looking over 50 parcels right now. I mean, I'm throwing a number out there. It's kind of what we're thinking. And that's cost to the county. That's not including this project. So I mean, this project could get very, very expensive. Planning on what the DNR approves too. So I'm just not gonna move forward. I'm gonna keep you guys updated of what we receive back from the DNR and bring it to the committee for decision on what you want to do to move forward. So.
Have a bunch of liberals and, you know.
Well, the other option too that DOT brought up last week was a half a mile of retaining wall. Well, at county cost, and I asked for change management, they're over budgeted already for that year, they're saying, I don't know how they can say that, but with projects, and that's a maintenance item then. You know, we gotta plow that road, you know, what if our plow hit, I mean, we're constantly, and it's just not feasible, so.
Yeah, I think they've heard from some public that's ramped up a little more attention on this. Who's our advocate? Like, is the DOT our advocate or?
Yeah, so I went through Stacy and kind of, to Senator Quinn and got a nice email back that please communicate with DOT, so.
I mean, is DOT, when it comes to the DNR, is DOT our partner or are they intermediary or?
Yeah, they're our partner,
Okay,
yeah. They have to see that this is followed through the FDM rules, you know, because it's state and federal, so. They haven't been a lot of help. We've discussed it. I've discussed it with other commissioners. I've discussed it at our commissioner meeting last week. Talked about it yesterday. So we're gonna see once we submit these alternatives to see what the DNR has to say. So I'll let you guys know what comes back.
You have to go out, have someone physically mark the right away.
Randy.
Yes, correct.
So you gotta go back out and have all these still marked it out there to see where you're
And
at.
that's what we're waiting for because we can't complete the plat yet till know what we have to buy for right away until we get an approved design, you know, of where they even wanted to move the road 1 foot to the right to reduce lake impacts. Well, you got driveways going up like this that are already, you know, so you're gonna be going another, because you gotta have a 10-foot clear zone on the lake too. So you're gonna be taking trees out of people's yards away, you know, up on the hill.
Yep. The original timeline had us doing the land acquisition this year.
Yeah, correct. Because it was supposed to be constructed in 25 first, and it was 26, now 27.
Yeah.
So it's a challenging project. I'm hoping that we can come to a conclusion on how to move forward here in the next month, so. Because we're running out of time and I don't want to push to 28, but I also don't want to put in a half mile of retaining wall either.
It's really.
It's really expensive. I talked to a Washburn County, that retaining wall along Long Lake was over $1 million. And now they got teared out when they redo it, so.
Oh, we don't want to lose that federal money either.
No, and then right now, I mean, we're at a little over 3, I mean, there's amendments that I haven't received yet because the SMAs haven't been updated, but just the cost of this project to start with, we were at federal funds of 3 million, county costs of 760,000 before right away and everything else, so.
So we declared a rustic road?
Yeah, well, he could, or maybe see if Bass Lake wants to take it.
How about that new association?
Oh, boy.
What else you got, John?
So we're currently recruiting for summer flaggers. We did fill a position in Hayward, so we're fully staffed in all 3 locations. We did have hearing tests last week that were all completed. And then, we also had electrical safety training provided by Jump River down at their shop here last month. And we still have 2 employees off on FMLA, but I believe their return to work date is April 28th. Otherwise, that's all I have in my report.
Thank you, Mr. Alvarado.
I'm gonna make him answer a question. Do you have a preliminary assessment of the value of brine this winter?
Not really, because it was hard because what we did is instead of buying bee heat, we took our brine and put it in the tanks in the other shops to run on there. And we didn't track it really well because it was hard with the storm events and everything, and we're just not set up to be efficient yet. So,
Do you have a direction you're headed in for like next year to plan for having brine storage or mixing
Yes.
tanks or?
yep, because with our new trucks, we'll have the tanks on the back. You know, we don't have the inserts or anything like that set up for brine. I mean, we're just not set up for it. You know, we got our little tanks on the back that we can put to pre-rut the salt so we don't get the bouncing of the salt on the road and stuff. And as far as our tanker truck, you know, we did it in Hayward. We didn't really see that much of a difference, but we didn't utilize it as much as we probably could have. So,
Yes.
Highway 27, is that gonna be, crack sealed?
which.
South.
Yes. So we're gonna be doing 27 south and 70 from Radisson to Ojibwa on the state. We're gonna mastic and crack seal. And then we'll be doing 27 south center, the center line and all that down there too, so. Yep.
Go ahead.
I want to ask, how much, do you have enough mastic and crack seal for Ojibwa to Radisson?
We do. We got 3 truckloads, 2 the state bought, and then we have 1 of our own for county, so.
I don't even wanna go there anymore. I haven't harassed him enough about that. Okay, thank you. Letter B, open pavement bids.
Okay, so currently, we opened bids on April 2nd at 3 o'clock. We only received 1 bid. That was from Monarch. And our asphalt price out of the Merotech pit is $58.40. And then the Thompson pit off of 27 is $61.31. About $1 increase since last year at both locations. So what I would need for this, when you do make a motion for approval for, so I can get the refund from the LRIP, is that I need to include, that the asphalt bid of the 6131 is for the County W LRIP project. So if you guys are good with those prices, that would,
Make a motion for what he said.
I'll second. Motion by Mr. Van Etten, second by Mr. Newman for the price of 6131 on County Road W. Any other, go ahead.
for the County Road W LRIP project, I just need that in the meeting minutes, so I make sure I get that refund, because a lot of the LRIP towns, villages, and counties have not received their refund because of the class 2 posting and their minutes, and it's been a battle.
Liz, when you're done writing, will you read it back to us, please?
So the motion was to approve the price, the cost of 6131. Do you want it to have the whole thing, hot mix asphalt, 6131 per ton from that line?
Yeah, you can.
So I'm gonna put that whole line in,
6331, right?
6131.
6131, the last line, right? LT regressed hot mix asphalt per ton loaded into trucks. For the county W, is it LRIP? Which,
LRIP.
yeah, County W LRIP project. Okay,
When we send the minutes out to be reviewed, let's run that by John also, please.
okay.
Make sure we get that right. All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you for all you do out there, John.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions for him? So road bans potentially next week we're looking at.
We're gonna look at our roads probably close to the end of next week and then make a decision. So it could be the 21st or the week of the 21st or the week of the 28th. We'll see, so.
All right, thank you. Do we have anything else before we go to closed session? Okay. Number 11, closed session. Letter A, consider a motion to convene in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.851E, deliberate and negotiate the purchase of public property, investing in public funds, or conducting other specific public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons are required in closed session. To it, for the purpose of considering existing lease agreement terms for the county road property of 1025 and North Tower Road, Hayward, and 10424 W State Road 2770 Radisson, to discuss the possible extension, terms, and negotiating strategy required for closed session to ensure the county's competitive bargaining position for towers.
I make a motion to go into closed session.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Howling, second by Mr. Newman to go into closed session. Need a roll call, folks. Mike, you can stay if you want.
Ron Kinsley,
Yes.
Mark Helwig,
Yes.
Randy Newman,
Yes.
Chuck Van Etten,
Yes.
Jim Evans.
Yes.
Jim, we have to ask you because you're virtual. Are you the only one in the room?
I am.
Thank you.
Okay, let me move this person.
Yeah, just.
Let's see.
You got him shut off.
Put him in the waiting room.
Okay.
So now with him still on, but that person's in the waiting room, they can't hear in the waiting room, right?
Correct.
And then pause the recording.
Jim, can you still hear us?
I can.
Thank you, Mike. He's in here. Oh, stay here. All right, are you recording, Lynn?
Yes.
Okay, we're on to number 12. Number 12 is closed sessions. Letter A, consider for motion to convene the closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.851E, deliberate and negotiate purchase of public property, investing in the public funds, or conducting other specific public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons are required in closed session. To witness the purpose of considering a potential purchase of property for possible expansion of the county facility that requires a closed session to ensure county competitive bargaining position. Need a roll call vote.
Well, I make a motion
Oops, yeah.
that we go back into closed session for what you just said.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Mr. Van Etten, second by Mr. Newman. Roll call vote.
Ron Kinsley,
Yes.
Mark Helwig,
Yes.
Randy Newman,
Yes.
Chuck Van Etten, Jim Evans.
Yes.
Thank you. We're in closed session. In closed session, no action taken. Number 13, board appointment committee updates. Hearing none. Number 14, correspondence reports, conference and meetings. And number 15, future agenda items. At this time, I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Alvarado for helping us in these last few years. You've done a wonderful job in public works and I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. We buried the headline tonight, though. Nobody's made,
The state skills up.
I was learning the allegiance
Yeah.
this morning. I was looking at it and stood reflecting.
I didn't look.
Ron, one future agenda item that I have is our pancake feed is gonna be that first Sunday in July. Our runway's probably gonna be back open. We're putting $4 million some into the airport. We may wanna consider having some board members out, maybe a ribbon cutting ceremony. Andy, you have to come back. Yes.
First Saturday or first?
First Sunday in July, I can't remember what the date is, but we did that before, I think in 2014 for the ILS project. We had some board members there. We had a ribbon and a ceremonial thing. So if that interests you, we could kind of maybe try to put it together and have it on the,
We're gonna put it on the agenda in June. Liz, please.
Okay.
Yeah, and we gotta promote it to get the board members out there.
queue.
All right. Yes.
Maybe you can help me with this one too. April 28th at the high school. Yes, so we're gonna go up there and speak. You can touch on that.
yeah, Joint Finance is holding one of their, State Joint Finance Committee is holding one of their budget public hearings in Hayward on April 28th. So we did talk about it in department heads and encourage our department leaders that have state funding, federal funding to get out there and make their, put their appeals out there on a counties basis. As far as the budget goes, we are advocating for, getting closer to full funding for the state court system that we have to pay money for, mental health dollars, LRIP and the ARIP,
RMA,
RMA.
LRIP and RMA, yeah.
Yeah, so road funding. So it's good opportunity. They're gonna be here in town. You don't have to make the trip anywhere to get your 3 to 5 minutes in front of the Joint Finance Committee and make your appeal.
You'll be gone.
That's, yeah,
Will you come back and?
my first day gone, come back up to Hayward.
I'm serious.
But I've already,
Better to do it.
for the record, I've met with all of our legislators already about our budget priorities. Down when I've been down to Madison, and then a couple of Representative Green's been around, so I think it'd be a good chance for county board and department heads to do the same thing.
So that's a no.
So,
I'd like to bring up, we don't have a problem on this committee, but other committees that people aren't showing up. And also on full boards that aren't showing up. I'm not talking about Zoom. I'm talking about, when we're very close sometimes not having a quorum. Is there anything that can be done as far as, I thought we used to have rules of engagement that if you miss 3 unexcused or something that,
If someone's gonna miss a meeting, they need to contact the chair or Liz or the administrator and let them know that they're not gonna be at the meeting. We don't want anybody to miss a meeting, but we all know that we have lives too, that things do come up. As far as missing 3 meetings, it's very hard to do because we are elected by the people. So if you're short and you know you're gonna be short, let me know. I will come to a meeting and fill in if you know ahead of time. And if it's a very short notice, get a hold of Mark, because Mark lives right here in town
Right. I'm
and he
just-
can fill in. So if you know ahead of time,
I could probably run, no.
but
I'm not saying me, I've never missed a
Yes.
meeting, but it seems to be more prevalent this year. And I don't know if we can do something, back on the board or.
yeah, we will, remind me, we'll talk about it at the end of the county board meeting also to remind people you need to get to your meetings.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
Anybody else? Yes.
I just wanted, believe next month too is ATV renewals, so
What?
ATV route renewals.
Get that information early to Liz so it'll help her out.
Okay.
Well, what do we need that for? Isn't everything open?
No, well, we gotta renew it. All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Good night.
Thank you, Mike.